Hi, I'm Simon, and I'm part of the administration team at the Accessibility and Disability Resource Centre. I'm joined by Hannah Barton, one of our disability advisors, who will answer some commonly asked questions that disabled students have. Hi, Hannah.
Hi, you're right.
First question, what services do we offer to disabled students at the university?
So we offer lots of different services. So this ranges from one-to-one appointments with an advisor where they can go through lots of advice and guidance, depending kind of on your circumstances, right through to referrals. So whether that be for diagnostic assessments for civic learning difficulties, mental health referrals, and we can also kind of like help with non-medical helper support as well. So mentoring, study skills, proofreading, and then we also loan out equipment as well, so whether that be assistive technology or ergonomic equipment.
Are there many disabled students studying at the university?
Yeah, so currently at the moment we have just under 5,000 disabled students at the university. So these range from undergraduate to postgraduate students, home students, as well as international students. And we work with a wide range of disabled students as well. So we work with students who have physical disabilities, hearing or visual impairments, civic learning difficulties like ADHD or dyslexia. ASC students, and we also work with students who have mental health difficulties and long-term medical health conditions as well, such as like diabetes or cancer. So if you feel like you don't need, access to support, or if you're a bit uncertain whether, the support is out there for you, it's definitely worth still getting in touch with us because we can kind of go through that with you in an appointment to figure out what type of adjustments you might need for your studies.
How should students outline their access requirements and what should they do if they're unsure about what their requirements will be once they're at university?
So the main thing that students can kind of like complete their details at is the student information form, which is held on our web pages, or you can get in touch with us and we can send you the form directly. This allows you to upload any medical evidence, but as well as kind of like write a brief paragraph as to the impact of your disabilities on your studies. So that really helps the advisor who you'll then meet. So once you've completed the student information form, it gets all added to our systems, and then you can meet with a designated advisor who will have a one-to-one appointment with yourself.
And how do those appointments work and what do they look like and what is discussed in them?
Yeah, so you will meet with an advisor. So you might have one advisor or you might have two, depending on kind of like what your disability is. And you normally meet for half an hour. So this can be online via Teams or Zoom. It could be via phone call. It can be in person, or it can even be via email. It's really completely up to you, whatever you feel most comfortable with. So during the appointment, all our advisors are really friendly. We'll get a bit of a scope of like how you're doing, how you're getting on, and then we'll kind of get into the details of what it is that's really impacting your studies. So whether that be your concentration, motivation, if you've got kind of like a physical disability, you might struggle getting from like one lecture to the next lecture in a quick pace, or you might need to be sat kind of like have reserved seating because you've got a hearing impairment, so you need to be able to see the lecturer's lips moving. So there's lots of different things that we can discuss and how we can support that. This is then written in a student support document, also known as an SSD. So this outlines all the different adjustments needed for your teaching. So that could be lectures to supervisions, practicals, group work, but we even look at exam arrangements as well. And we can even discuss kind of like accommodation adjustments or other kind of like wellbeing support that might be available. During the appointment as well, depending on your circumstances, if you feel like you might need a diagnostic assessment, we can kind of discuss that with you as well. So whether that be for civic learning difficulties or an autism assessment, or if you're really struggling with your mental health, we can kind of like signpost you to the relevant people. So whether that be the counselling service at the university or the mental health advisors.
And what do you say to a student who is perhaps reluctant to contact us and if they're concerned about the confidentiality of their personal details?
I mean, I can completely understand that, and it is like, quite daunting, reaching out to kind of like seek support, particularly if you feel like you're not kind of like entitled to that support. But we're here for that reason. And obviously, if you feel like a bit uncertain whether it is for you, you're more than welcome to get in touch with an advisor like directly, or you can email the disability inbox, and we can respond to any queries that you have. Or if you want, you can have like a one-to-one appointment just to go over the type of support that we offer. So whether that be the student support documents or perhaps mentoring or study skills. And we can kind of go through all those different things. And then if you want to go away and think about it, that's absolutely fine. Like some students will come to have an appointment, discuss lots of different things, and then figure out actually perhaps I don't need that type of support just at the moment, and that's absolutely fine. It's definitely worth having a think about. In terms of the confidentiality, so any support requirements that are needed in terms of like your adjustments, these are sent kind of like to people on the need to know basis. So it's not sent to everyone and anyone, and it's all based on kind of like the level of confidentiality that you agree to. So if you give full disclosure, this will mean your support adjustments will go to kind of like your college or department, as well as other members of staff who might work with you. So whether that be people who work in the labs, the library accessible service, anyone who you feel like need to know what your adjustments are. However, if you want to restrict that disclosure to say just your department or just the college, obviously you're more than welcome to do so. It's completely up to whatever you feel comfortable with. But obviously you just need to bear in mind that depending who you disclose to, you might not get the right level of support available.
Okay, do you have any other advice, and how can students contact us if they have any questions?
So just literally reach out as soon as you can. Like, don't wait until kind of like you're really struggling to reach out. It's better to get the support in place sooner rather than later, because if you don't end up using it, if you don't feel like you need the adjustments, then that's absolutely fine. It doesn't matter. But also, if you do feel a bit wary about reaching out to us directly, then do feel free to kind of get in touch with your college tutor or perhaps the college nurse or any wellbeing advisors that you're working with, because they can also introduce you to the disability advisors and the disability service as well. So do feel free to, like, if you do feel a bit nervous about doing so, just make sure you speak to your college tutor and they can make the introductions.
Okay, that's great. Thank you very much for your time, Hannah.
No problem. Thank you.
And thanks to everyone for watching. Thank you.